Do, do, do. All right. Okay. Um. All right. So let's talk about them one at a time, I guess. So, Kieran, let's talk about these new Striders one at a time. Kind of like what I think their combos could work off with the state of their deck. So, Kieran is not as great. I don't think Kieran's really that great. Let's talk about the actual Striders themselves and what their actual how they might actually work in their decks instead. So, starting off with Kieran, I don't think it's gonna really do much. I think if I'm looking at OTT right now, knowing what I know off of the top of my head, OTT is not like built to be something that Kieran is there. Kieran is look at top two, put it into your hand, put rest bottom deck. It doesn't extend. It only like really gives you. It basically is a selective draw one pretty much. And knowing from the original, combining it with the original Susanoo, it's really just a big draw two. It's really just a double draw in a clan that really doesn't need all the draw power. Really, it needs like extension more than that. So I don't think Kieran is like the card that like gets them there. It might be a good like setup turn, because if I think of him like a setup turn, it's all right. In fact, actually, no. If we go off the belief that these are going to be, they're gonna have the ability to just straight up get two of the marker of the nation of the clan. Excuse me. It gives you the two cards for your protect markers, or like your protect ones, or like gets you cards that you can use on your protect twos later. But outside of that, I don't even think it does much. So I don't think Kieran is going to go crazy anywhere. Flash Bruce is interesting. So at the end of the battle, you hit a cost, which is choose card from hand, put in your soul. Search your deck for a card, call to rear, and it gets plus 5k. Pretty much just like straight up a hard like extender for Flash Bruce. It means you can then call some other things. And Strike Brothers deck itself has a lot of extender cards, so you can actually get like 5-6 attacks. Maybe up to like 7-8, depending on everything. I don't know. I have to talk to Proof about it. See what what he kind of thinks up of as time goes on. I think he's waiting for like all the reprints of cards that could come through before he kind of like starts brewing, or any other sets from like set 10 as well. So that's also another question. So I think Bruce is going to be interesting, and because of the way Julian is worded, I think you could definitely get over doing some Bruce Julian combos, which would be kind of hilarious. So that's that. Mahmoud is just straight garbage. It is effectively an end of battle. Choose your opponent's Regard and Tyrant. Like, that's not anything. And I don't know and I don't know if you would give up some like actual like turn for anything Kagero for this, unless you were like Lawkeeper or something. But even then, I don't know if you do that. So that's really it. I think just Mahmoud's is terrible. If I could have done the actual stupid thing, if I could find I'll probably like look quickly and like find like another like tier maker or something, but that's pretty much it. I don't think Mahmoud's really anything. Vic 10 is crazy. Choosing in regards to standing gets 5k. Just a free stand off of that, no effects and whatnot. With the old Victor, like, yeah, that's what Campbell's one. Start battle, restand something, end the battle, restand something. So you get like some other like shenanigans. So you get like 5 attacks innately, plus if you consider it with the 2 Excel markers, you drawn 2, you put 2 cards on the board. That means they have potential to extend even further. Yeah, no, this is Vic 10 actually is with old Victor is straight up really good. Like, I could see Victor potentially coming back into the meta with this card, per se. I think that's actually crazy. Zorus is a war crime. When its attack hits, choose one of your rear guards, retires them, choose 2 cards in your opponent's drop zone, bind them face up. Uh, I apologize for this. I just got this off the internet. Zorus is a war crime, especially with the way Narakami is currently built. It is a hot disaster. That yeah, this actually will be a problem. Just not because of Zorus, rather because of how Narakami works. It's like yeah, this should not have happened. Yeah, it binds two as well. Now, let's see, because I think because you ran your Stunverse, I don't think you're really gonna get a lot of. You've burned your one Stunverse for this combo, so I think that's one of the reasons why they said, "Oh no, you gotta get rid of Stunverse now. You gotta get rid of it now. We don't want to deal with it anymore, or at least limit it to one." So I don't know if you could find like some other crazy play with it, but I think just Narakami as a clan is basically insane in premium, and it's like, how did y'all? You were probably one of the worst. You were probably one of the worst. You went from being one of the worst clans in a original G era to becoming this insane multi-attack, like heavy, like damage control clan. Like, you are so fast. I'm like, how did we get here? Like, V just really like upped the stonks of this whole entire clan. It's crazy. Campbell is Campbell is okay. I think giving Campbell's okay, right? It's another extension when, you know, Gold Paladin can extend and do other things too. So it's more of a consistency buffing your first stride turn than anything. It's okay. I don't think it's really anything like amazing, right? I mean, the cell marker is gonna help a lot. Don't get me wrong, but it's still like, it's there. Now afterwards, oh, that probably go crazy. Speaking of going crazy, Ushimitsu train. Uh, when attack hits your rear guard, search your deck for 2 cards, same name as the unit, call separate guard, search your deck. This is now, speaking of war crimes, if Narukami's was a war crime, where are you? If Zorus was a war crime by association, this is a war crime as the actual war crime. This is the warmonger right here. Because, again, think about what I just said. If we're going with assumption that these get 2 of the marker, Murakumo is an Excel clan. Meaning that you already have 2 open slots just gifted to you because of the way Murakumo, because of the way the stride will work. So now you choose a card, search 2 cards, then call in the separate rear, shuffle your deck, put a card's rear guard above order. So now you do this, you combine it with other cards that could probably do some crazy stuff too. You know, Murakumo's pools, like, Murakumo has like a potentially like really dangerous pool of cards that you're just like, man, I see why they were so trash back in the day, because if you let them actually play these cards like normal, you might be in danger. And there's a reason, and eventually you'll get to the point of, okay, I need to guard all these attacks, I can't let all this go in. And that's where the Shadow Stitch stuff will come in and then beat your behind with it anyway. So this might be, Yoshimitsu might actually be legitimately busted. You might really be on the last train for the spare. Like, it's right here, bro. Like, it's actually really crazy. Let's go to, Chiskyo Lyra. I'm sorry, girl. Nothing can save your clan right now. Outside of, redoing your entire, outside of getting a whole new stride that is just as powerful or on a similar wavelength as basically, if you gave me an NLK but as a stride, I think that's the only way you get this clan work. This clan doesn't redo attack hits, soul charge 2, 6 more, draw a card. On hit, soul charge 2, draw a card is not worth the actual combination there. And Charlotte's original version was not even that great to begin with. So it's like, yeah, you're really just soul charging 4, popping rear guard, draw a card. That's cool, but it's not your main Vanguard swing, you know what I mean? Like, you want to be doing something more than just soul charge 4, draw a card. Right? It's technically a +2, but a +2 in premium is just Tuesday, which this is, by the way. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Dion is Soul Blast 3, look at top 3, search for one card and put your hand for Resting Soul. So it's a selective soul charge. I'm sorry, these images are like so bad, I'm sorry. But anyway, so it's like Soul Blast 3 for complete scry, choose one anything and put the rest soul. And this is really saved by the fact that Fenrir's stride skill is probably one of the best of the original striders in general. Of just, when a card is soul blasted, you counter blast one, call it to rear. So you get to technically extend off of Dion because of her skill and get a selective card. So there actually is potential with Fenrir and Genesis as a whole with Dion Fenrir. So that is actually something that could be looked at if there's something right there. Somni. When an attack hits a Vanguard, choose one of your rear guards, return to hand, choose one card from hand, call it the rear, and that unit is +3. Speaking of another clan that is probably like busted beyond belief because it was all good generic cards, Somni can have the potential to just straight up break something. Yes, you're comboing with Loris, but Loris isn't exactly that bad either, so it really is, for a clan that has a really strong early game that you can then switch to a mid game, this is actually not that bad for a multi-attacking strategy with 2 force markers available to you in general, right? So you have a lot of plays, and you could probably bounce into an Aqua, bounce into a thing you can call, like, say, a Tira, the V-Tira, and just go crazy, right? You have a lot of combo potential for this as well. So I think Bermuda Triangle just has a lot of stupid stuff that you could just do, which is why I think a lot of people are like, Highlander probably might need to go because you get 2 procs of what's her name, and it's just like, oh no, that's crazy. So Somni definitely might need to go completely. I'm sorry, Somni. I mean, not Somni need to go, but like wherever that grade 3 is, that like makes the clan so bust as well. Next we got Holy Seraph Uriel. Uriel, you at the end of the battle, pretty much look at top 3, search one card on the opponent facing damage zone, pre card near zone, choose favorite grade 2 less card damage, and call to rear, gets +2. Only little real caveat is that this is grade 2 or less card call to rear instead of like just any card call to rear, because that means like you lose a lot of like the potential combo power with the stupid card that like, yeah, you counter blast 3, your opponent can't guard this with sentinels or anything, so you have to like hard guard it because it's so big. Pause. But besides that, I think this is fine. I think this is also another extension for Angel Feathers. I don't know if it's enough, but it's, yeah, Q tier. Excuse me. Thank you for everyone who's looking at the part. Yeah, I think this is, but yeah, I think Uriel is fine. Uriel does a lot of cool stuff. So it's interesting. I think there's potential in this one. If I could do a list that would be like, straight up good combined with your Strider, they're straight up good by the on hit, straight up good by the Strider, potential with the rest of the clan, and then there's just Dookie Butter, which Mahmud would be, because which like part like Mahmud would definitely be in, because where are you? Yeah, which a card like Mahmud would definitely be in, because no, you are not it, Chief. You just are not it. Gets Dodecon, combined with the old Shiranui, which was the countless one your opponent discards. In the battle, your opponent chooses card his hand discards it. That is a discard 2. I don't know how good this will. I don't think this is that good. I think if you're going first, I think it's might be kind of crazy, because it's like, you would combine with Shiranui, it's like a discard 2 combined with other like new Watama cards. New cards have gotten stronger, but I don't know if it's like completely like crazy like that to be that great, Also, you're also, because you're a protect clan, you're not really getting like power. You're really just getting 2 markers for defensively, which I don't really know about that. Protect 2, you might be able to do something with it, but that also has to depend on your matchups, you know? Like, you have to think about, your matchup chart now has probably, like, changed a bit because of how fast you can get your markers, so I think just newer talent players just have to kind of look over it, I think. You know, I really want to know what they think, but, like, this is definitely on the on potential, like, list. Like, you could be good, but it just takes some. Arch Raider. If you can't see it, its effect is choose one of your rear guards and retire it when its unit attacks a Vanguard. You may pay the cost. We do it till that battle. This unit is plus 5k, and when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, can I just like move this up 150? When its unit attack hits a Vanguard, choose your opponent's rear guards to retire it. I don't think it's so. Okay, so this effect is the actual on hit on this is negligible because you're gonna basically pop your opponent's regards to retire anyway. The actual effect of choose when your regards to retire actually is effective because you have Gaia. Gaia's original stride skill is considered one of the best in the original game for a reason, because it revived any 2 cards just straight up. So if you ate something, you revive it. So this actually gives you the ability to just, you know, revive a card, which now that years have passed, this actually kind of becomes a little crazy. Like, I think there's actually some crazy plays you could do with Tajikaze here, just off the basis of Gaia as a strider being so strong, combined with your excels. So yeah, I think Arch Raider is in that. Yeah, the Strider makes up for a lot of the power, but I don't think Arch Raider is necessarily as worse combined, you know. Clifford, which is, you know, choose a creature, let's carry soul card, Radius +2. I don't know what the hell they were thinking making Clifford the actual. Okay, let me start with this. I don't think Clifford should have been the choice of Pale Moon. I get what the idea was with Clifford. Is like, oh, well, this is just a generic card. But considering that you're running a deck that uses Hardy, and most of the cards would like to have a Magia Vanguard, not using, what's her name from the actual trial deck that this is in, feels also kind of like a mess, but I also kind of, I get why they chose Clifford. Clifford's more generic than the Magia on hit, and you can just do a little more, but I don't think you can debate that because the Magia hit really just does the same thing, but it's just Magia related. So really, it's just like you get to keep the card on board. I don't know. I don't think Clifford is exactly the right play. I don't think Clifford was exactly the right play, but you know what? It might be. It might be alright. I don't know what else you could do. I think this gives Hari like a pretty good play. I don't think it does anything for Silver Thorns, and Nightmare Dolls already have like crazy strides anyway. It doesn't really matter. Jaggy Devil, when his unit attack hits, choose rear guard opponent's front row and back row. You can stand. This is this is kind of useless. Well, actually, this is a card that's like, yeah, no, this card is just straight up bad. But I don't think even Darkface's like original like GB, the original stride skill can even probably save this. But because it's like, well, no, I don't think it can, because you have to do a persona flip of this. You're not choosing another card. Now, if it was like you get the access to like the premium collection stride to do this, I think you actually might be onto something here because you just go crazy. But I don't think Jaggy Devil is good, and I don't think Darkface's stride skill is good enough to salvage it, if that makes sense. Wisdom Teller doesn't do anything. It's choose one of your regards, it gets 4k, and when attacks Vanguard, 20k, go draw a card. So, basic success. It basically gives a rear guard 4k and has basic success to draw a card. It's generic. I think that's cool, and I don't remember what Big Billy's original stride skill did, so that's, you know, kind of hurting it. So I don't think this is good. I just don't think the combo is strong enough to justify it. Arboria, I think again with force markers, I think Arboria is fine. I think Arboria just is okay. I just think the problem is that if you're doing Asha, that means you're probably doing like a Bloom build, which means a lot of your kind of combos are going to be based on blooming and whatnot. So I think the funniest thing about all of it is I think this probably gives Neo Nectar a first stride they've needed. I think that's literally like the only like real caveat on this, because Asha and Neo Nectar as a whole hasn't been able to really do anything in a long time because of just the fact that your deck is so clunky, because of just how V Neo Nectar and G Neo Nectar just don't connect with each other, you know? So that is the unfortunate thing. I think Arboria is good, but only because there's nothing else for the clan to really go crazy in, unless you're maybe Musketeers. Title Bore. When it attacks the Vanguard, they're about to turn more, draw a card, you win card in. Alright. I think it's a fine first stride. You get, you know, the Excel markers really help, but I think really, and then I think Dawes's stride skill just isn't great either. I think just that card's I think that card is, its original stride skill just isn't good. But, you know, hey, but it does give you a pop, so that is on that fourth attack, so it is kind of like, yeah. I mean, -1, you basically get a draw 1, and then you get a more extension, so I think that's okay. I don't think it's really that crazy. Judgment Messiah. End battle, choose regular opponent's back row, lock it, choose one luck card, unlock it. More extension for Messiahs. That's basically it. I think it's okay, and I think really the power is not really with the stride ability, but rather with Alter Ego Messiah's GB2, which is now active on that first stride now, because of Judgment Messiah's change. So that means that Alter Ego now has access to its stride ability, which now allows you to draw more cards, which means you have much more survivability for your opponent's turn. So I think Judgment is okay, but I think really it's Alter Ego's GB2 that will make up for a lot of the potential issues. You know what I mean? I think that's really it. Bandit Rum. Bandit Rum is just another extender, and combine that with Night Rose's GB2, which will allow you to do more plays, and you know, the original stride skill. I think this is fine. I think actually Night Rose kind of comes off of this really good. I think that's pretty good. So I think Bandit Rum is okay. I don't really think there's much to talk about Bandit Rum. That's cool. Lost Age is almost completely pointless outside of maybe Time Leap. It's literally a bot deck 1. You don't get any other advantage of it. You don't really gain things. Like Lost Age, like Gear Chronicle has been about like board control since set 4 of G. Outside of that, it has never cared about board control anymore. So that's one thing. 2, just, you know, I think you rather just go into what's his name from the updated Stride collection, right? Not Stride collection, excuse me. What's it? The Fate Rider. I think you just rather go into Fate Rider from the original from the Chrono Jet Stride deck set. You'd rather just play that instead, because you're going to be on Jet anyway. Like, the markers really aren't going to matter because you also have the potential to access the Crest, so it's like, which will just scale harder than the markers. Oh goodness, I just thought about that. Oh goodness. You know, that would be I think that's the only saving grace of this card, really. It's like you bought deck 2 cards, but you're also. I think that's probably the one thing this has over Momwood, which is yeah, because Blade Master pops 2 as opposed to where are you? Where? Gosh, I did not put these in order, did I? This is unfortunate. I was just on Lost Age. Where did Lost Age go? Lost Age! Oh lord, I lost Lost Age. Oh goodness. I lost Lost Age! Help! oh jeez. Oh jeez. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I found Lost Age. I found him. Yeah, the only difference is that currently Chronojet has the crest. So if you get your crest, now Jet actually becomes insane. Because now you are actually on what, 20k to the front row? Oh, there actually might be something with this. It might be less consistent, but there might be something to Lost Age. And this is one of those things where like it is the potential. I would put this in potential not because the Strider is good or because the actual like on hit ability being unlocked is good, but rather just because the crest itself is just stupid. So it basically turns your entire like front row with a 20k line, meaning you could actually probably for real run Time Leap again. Like this might actually save Time Leap. This might be what saves Time Leap. Not this card, but this card with the markers and the crest might be the actual way you save Time Leap, which would be kind of hilarious. But I don't know if that would be enough. It will allow you to do your Time Leap combos again, or something. But like I think you need another Vanguard to do so. But that's just me. We go on to X Rogue. This is nothing. Like on hit, 37 graded draw card. Your opponent chooses Rigor retires it. Same thing as the Great Nature Stride. Just straight up draw a card, choose a card, repose there. So it's a +2. It's an exchange of 2. So it's a +1 plus -1. That's a +2. So it's just an exchange. Yeah, I just said yeah. It needs Mellow TikTok and Steam. Ooh, I mean, technically. Yeah, but I think like a lot of good cards that do need jetters are there. So yeah, X Rogue is just terrible. Like this card was only in the G zone for fodder back in the day, and even then you just erase it there. This was a card that's decent in 0, but outside that, nothing really there. You know, draw a card isn't, and it doesn't help that the actual Strider. Hold on, let me look up Cosmic Hero Gallop. Yeah, let me look up the original Grand Gallop. Let me look up Grand Gallop right here. When test Vanguard, well, we care about the Stride here right now. It's during your turn, when you do your strides, choose anywhere against Vanguard on hit. Means you attack as a random counts one draw card. Because you get the abilities, like your abilities on hits actually become active. This is actually somewhat okay. It turns into a +3 for a counterblast, but I don't think that's. I still know if that's worth it. I still think you'd rather just do your shenanigans and pop off on D robos or whatever. You know, that's kind of the unfortunate thing. I still think Gallop's cool, but it's not it. Alright, so Grim Recruiter is, you know, at the end of the battle, you one greater and less card called the Rich of your deck. It's okay. I think we have to look at Aura Geyser. I mean, not Aura Geyser, but Cleric Sword. Yeah, we think we have to look at Cleric Sword. The original. Not you. We have to look at the original Cleric Sword to kind of like be like, yeah, what are you really worth it? So Cleric Sword, during turn, during your stride, it costs your deck for 1 grade 1 less card, called the rear of your deck. It's +2. I think it's okay. I think the combo is like okay, but I don't think it's crazy. I just realized I did this whole thing in front of an ad. I am so sorry, guys. You can't hear me anyway because the ad's gonna last for 50 seconds, but I'm gonna put in a video. I'm so sorry. So, yeah, pretty much just like this just gets grade 1s. Now, to be fair, Shadow Paladin is built on crazy grade 1s, so there is probably something stupid you could combine with this. The problem is it's Cleric Sword. And they have not given Cleric Sword any good cards that don't just, you know, align with the new Cleric Sword and V. So, like, the OG Cleric Sword is kind of, like, in the struggle. That's pretty much what I can tell you. So, and then last but not least, because I missed it, Godblade. Godblade is okay. I think Godblade is okay completely because, a lot of its... I think a lot of, like, the issues are pretty much, like... Yeah, I think that's cool. I think it's fine. I think just the issue is, like... I think Alma has a lot of good grade 2s. I think it has a much more wider pool with grade 2s than, something like, Cleric Sword. I think another thing is that you have access to Jewel Knights. So Jewel Knights actually could do something crazy, too. There's not really like a big issue. Yeah, so I think overall, I think we look at the set as a whole. This might be a war crime. This might be the most war crime set of all time. I'm sorry. This might be a disaster. Like, upon thinking about it, I'm like, wait, there could actually be some shenanigans that could just be crazy. Right, I think you've given Gear Chronicle the potential tools. I think you might have given Bloom a second chance. I mean, again, I'll say this: like, I think straight up, like, having the ability for these old cards to be playable is cool. I think it's really impactful. I think it really does something for those old cards. But they've now kind of gone to like a Yu-Gi-Oh type of thing where it's not really the cards themselves and building a deck around them, but rather just building your whole crazy thing and then having like an engine of cards that just like gets you to this card to be like, okay, I'm just gonna go crazy, and then next turn I'm gonna win. That's kind of that's the part that soured me on the whole thing. It's like, man, I wanted these decks to actually be their decks again, you know, to actually have an option to really play it, and you still can. But we just know that a competitive premium is going to look like I'm trying to think of what this is. I'm trying to think of something. I feel like we thought we was gonna have like it's like, I think for like, we're gonna have a war, but we're gonna be like, it's gonna like Star Wars, where we originally thought, oh man, we're gonna have like the original trilogy completely, but instead we've just gotten the sequel trilogy, which is taking the old like cool stuff and committed complete war crimes on them. It's kind of disappointing in that way. I'm still gonna do some crazy stuff with them to try to see if I can probably like bring like Altmile and Asha and all of them back from the brink, because I actually, like, this is actually a funny story. So I'll tell you this after there. So, you know, I think a lot of cool stuff can happen, just it might be too much for certain things, you know.